Blood was dripping from Raymond Washington's perfectly manicured nails as he stared at his phone. $3 billion. Gone in a blink, and just 6 hours ago, the CEO of the airline who'd had him escorted off a first-class flight was now practically begging on the other end of the line. Raymond smiled, wiped his hand, and thought, I'm just getting started. You want to know how humiliation can flip the entire power dynamic in America's boardrooms? Buckle up. You're about to see what happens when the person you underestimate turns out to be holding all the cards. Before we dive in, let me know where you're watching from, because this one you won't want to miss. See, Raymond Jackson never expected that morning at O'Hare to turn into a corporate bloodbath. He was standing at gate C-17, briefcase in one hand, first-class boarding pass in the other. At 43, he'd built Cyber Shield from nothing, now valued at over $7 billion. And on this day, he was set to close a government contract worth almost $2 billion more. Charcoal Tom Ford suit, 6'2" presence, all business. And yet, you know how it is no amount of money or status can ever fully shield you from someone else's assumptions. First-class passengers may now board. The gate agent called, not even glancing up. Raymond walked forward, boarding pass extended. The attendant at the door, all polite smiles, glanced up, then her face changed. Just a flicker, but he caught it. Boarding pass, sir. He handed it over. Suddenly, she was examining it like she'd never seen a boarding pass before. One moment, please. That pit in your stomach? Raymond knew it too well. Here we go again. Within seconds, another flight attendant materialized, older, white, name tag reading David Whitmore, lead attendant. Sir, I believe there's some confusion. First class is this way. As if Raymond didn't know. I'm aware, he said, staying calm, holding up his pass, holding up his ID. 2A. I paid for it. Whitmore squinted at the documents. Doesn't look right. Our first class is fully booked with our regular passengers today. There was regular passengers. Raymond didn't need a translation. People started lining up behind him, watching but silent. Not one person said a word. Whitmore told him, Sir, please lower your voice, though Raymond hadn't even raised it. So Raymond did what a lot of us would do, started recording. You're not allowed to do that here, Whitmore snapped. We're not on the plane, we're in the jetway. This is airport property, Raymond shot back. Are you going to honor my ticket, or do I need to escalate? Whitmore radioed for security. Minutes later, 2 officers showed up, older guy, white, buzzcut, and his younger partner. This passenger is being disruptive and refusing to comply, Whitmore told them. I have a valid ticket, Raymond said. Didn't matter. Sir, if the flight crew has asked you to deplane, we need to escort you off. Just like that. He could feel eyes on him, phones out, people filming, nobody helping. All that work, all that success, and suddenly he was just another problem to be removed. Walking back down the jetway, humiliation burning under his skin, Raymond remembered his first investor meeting a decade ago, when someone had mistaken him for the delivery guy instead of the CEO. Back then, he'd swallowed the disrespect. But not today. Not with a $2 billion contract on the line. Not with so much at stake for everyone on his team. He called his COO, Tamika Tama, to her friend's right hand since day one. They pulled me off the flight, he said. What? Why? She replied. What do you think? He answered quietly. Silence on the line. Then she said, I'm coming to get you. And this time, they picked the wrong person. Moments later, his phone lit. UPA video of his removal had already gone viral. Flying while black was trending. Raymond sat in the O'Hare Executive Lounge, untouched coffee cooling in his hands. He was supposed to be finalizing the deal of his life with the Department of Defense. Now everything was in jeopardy, derailed by 7 minutes of prejudice. The lounge door swung open and Tamika strode in, fury barely contained. I saw the video, she said. It's worse than I thought. Raymond nodded. They didn't even bother to check my ID. Just decided I didn't belong. Tama replied that he rescheduled the meeting, but they sounded worried. This kind of publicity right before a contract. His phone rang, unknown number. Mr. Jackson, this is Patricia Nelson from Skyway Airlines Customer Relations. We're investigating what happened. Raymond cut in. You mean racial profiling? I had a valid first-class ticket, and your staff decided I didn't belong. No verificación, no pruebe bruchadura. Just prejudice. She offered to escalate to the VP. I want to speak to your CEO, Harold Thompson. She stalled. Do you know who I am? Raymond asked. I'm Raymond Jackson, CEO of CyberShield. That finally got her attention. Tamika was already on her tablet. Ray, Skyway uses our security infrastructure. NimbleGuard powers their whole booking and payment system. The irony landed like a punch. They're a Tier 1 client, she confirmed. Last audit was 8 months ago. They're due. Raymond didn't even hesitate. Move it up. Today. Tamika caught his Mianinga full audit would restrict their operations for 24 hours, by contract. Andre Phillips, Raymond's lawyer, arrived. We've got a case for public discrimination and business interference. Slam dunk, but it'll take 2 years to resolve. Raymond shook his head. Too long. I want something immediate. Andre realized what Raymond had in mind using the audit, fully within their contractual rights. It's not retaliation, Raymond said. It's a wake-up call. Raymond called an emergency meeting back at CyberShield HK executives, lawyers, tech leads all gathered. I was humiliated and removed from a flight because of racial profiling. It's viral. Our DoD contract is at risk. He played the security footage, the whole humiliating scene. Legal suggested a lawsuit, but Raymond wanted immediate action. Our contract lets us audit Skyway systems, Tama confirmed. We can restrict payment and bookings, freeze their flights. Jason Chun, CTO, explained they'd be crippled for 24 hours. Raymond looked around the table. This isn't just about me. How many people like me have been treated the same, with no power to respond? Protection means standing up when you can. The team nodded. Initiate the audit. Within minutes, Skyway's payment systems froze. Booking systems crashed. Flights grounded. Chaos at airports across the country. CEO Harold Thompson was mid-presentation when he got the call 82 flights down, $1 billion in transactions frozen. His CTO explained CyberShield's auditing us. All by contract. Harold saw the news Raymond's removal, the viral video, the connection. Actions have consequences. Harold got Raymond on the phone. This is going to cost us millions. Harold pleaded. Raymond replied, discrimination cost me a $1.9 billion contract. Actions have consequences. Harold asked, what do you want? Raymond was clear. Fire David Whitmore and any staff involved. Implement real anti-bias training and diverse hiring with measurable goals, and issue a public apology for what happened. Harold balked, but the financial hemorrhaging forced his hand. The board argued some wanted to fight. Others knew the PR nightmare was killing them. Which cost less? Harold asked. Settling with Whitmore or 24 hours of chaos. In the end, they agreed to Raymond's terms. In a tense face-to-face, Raymond showed them records of previous complaints against Whitmore. All settled quietly. This isn't the first time. It's a pattern, he said. Harold signed the agreement. Systems restored. Actions, not words, Raymond told him. He knew it was a partial victory, shouldn't have had to use corporate power to demand basic dignity, but at least there were consequences for once. The news exploded so brings airline to its knees after racist incident. Flying while black became a trending hashtag, as other black executives shared similar stories. Not all the reaction was positive. Some accused Raymond of going too far, of using his power as a weapon. But for others, it was a wake-up call. Discrimination could no longer be swept under the rug. Even the DoD, after some tense discussions, confirmed the contract. In the end, Raymond's stand hadn't hurt his company. Instead, it had made him a symbol of accountability. 6 weeks later, Raymond stood in his old high school auditorium, telling students, success isn't just about what you achieve, it's about what you do with it, what doors you open for others. Meanwhile, Skyway's new diversity initiatives sparked industry-wide change. More airlines followed suit. Small shifts, but real ones. On his next flight, a black executive across the aisle was greeted with respect. No double takes, no questions. It felt ordinary and extraordinary. Raymond knew it wasn't over. There would be backlash, lawsuits, even threats. But the balance had shifted, if only a little. Maybe next time someone saw a black passenger in first class, they'd think twice before assuming they didn't belong. Maybe more people would speak up when they saw injustice. Sometimes, his mother had told him, "You got to make noise for folks to hear you. Just make sure it's the right kind of noise, the kind that opens doors for others." So, let me ask you, if you saw someone facing discrimination, would you speak up or would you stay silent? Drop a comment below. Let's talk about justice, dignity, and the power of standing up. If Raymond's story hit home, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear that your dignity is non-negotiable. In the end, it's not just about the big battles, it's about every small choice we make to demand respect for ourselves and for everyone coming after us.